Hello, it's July 2023, and this video is going to be of a different style to what I normally do. Although I've referenced this type of thing as overlays only in some videos, this video is going to kind of be a tangent of that, and everyone would be able to relate to this particular topic. Now, there's a lot of people who do song reviews, reactions specifically, and I'm not going to be doing that here. There are many people who do that, and I'm going to be highlighting one person's reaction to this specific song. And I chose this person because they nail it, and they really nail it at the end when they give their commentary. And this person happens to be a voice coach, someone who helps people, I guess, sing and so forth. So when they're doing their reviews of songs, and I don't know how this person ever started to populate on my feed, but they did, and I've seen a few of their videos over the years, and it's interesting, and I think that's what I take from it. It's not so much music, because I really don't listen to music anymore, but from their perspective as a voice coach. But they really nail it at the end. And it's interesting, from there I went and started watching other people's reactions, and what I found absolutely most interesting was you have men, even as a descriptive, somebody you might call as a tough guy. Not that they're mean or anything, but just somebody a man who is a man's man, and how they react to it. And by the end, how they changed. You can see how they start off either trying to be really cool or, whatever. And then you can just watch their face as it changes, and how they're trying to hold back tears about halfway through. And to me, that is impactful. They give commentary as well to, their reaction to the song, but it's really watching them over the 3 minutes, how they change, and then how by the end, everyone's choked up, because the song everyone can relate to. Now, this song is called Hurt. Now, this song was originally written by Trent Reznor of 9 Inch Nails. And when he wrote that song, I believe it was in the early 1990s, he was looking at it from the perspective of a young man, troubled, drugs, trying to escape, trying to fit in. And so when he did his original piece, that was from that perspective. Now, what I'm going to be focusing on is Johnny Cash's version, his cover of that song. Now, Trent Reznor, when he did the official video, the imagery that he used for that video completely differs to Johnny Cash's imagery. One's not better than the other. Again, you have to keep in mind two different perspectives, one of a young man and one of an old man nearing the end of his life. And when Johnny Cash did this song, it wasn't much long after that he passed away. And if I'm not mistaken, his wife had passed away around that time as well. I think afterwards, but I could be wrong. Now, what makes this song Hurt so impactful on everyone, bringing out the emotions? Because of the things that he talks about. Now, the lyrics between Reznor and Cash slightly differ. The imagery greatly differs, but the words were slightly changed because Johnny Cash wanted to, for one, not use profanity, and two, he wanted to look at it from his perspective as an old man nearing the end. The song starts off by saying that he hurt himself today to see if he could still feel. And what we see there is the analogy, descriptive of being so numb with the world overall, the civilization, and the hardships and the troubles and everything else. Again, when you look at the two different versions, one is from a perspective of a young man and one of an older man. I'm just going to segue for a moment that when Trent Reznor was offered or asked to have Johnny Cash do the cover of that song, he agreed to it. And after he heard Johnny Cash's version, he said, "This is no longer my song." Now, going back to some of the lyrics here, I hurt myself today to see if I can feel. And a lot of people can relate to that to different degrees. Some people's lives may appear better or worse than, say, their own. It's all relative. It's perspective. Everyone is different. Everyone can handle, for example, stresses differently, whether they be mental or physical, or, dare I say, spiritual. So there's no one suffering worse or no one has it better. It's all relative to the individual. So we start the song off with that real heavy take back, like, whoa. And then he talks about the needle makes a hole. Now that needle relates to drug abuse, trying to numb whatever it is that is being dealt with mentally, maybe even physically. But replace a needle with anything else: alcohol, coffee, cigarettes, anything. Perhaps even music, because music in itself is a drug. There's all these things are addictions to escape reality, the pains someone's facing. So the needle, the drug use to escape, can be replaced with anything. And then it follows with the lyrics saying it doesn't help. There's no escape. Because whether they be, as a descriptive, illegal substances or something prescribed officially, it masks the problem. It doesn't solve the problem. Now, sometimes, and I'm not condoning illegal drug use or anything, or any kind of drug use, but sometimes people need something just to take the edge off. Maybe have a cup of coffee or tea or something that you can associate with to help cope during a temporary moment. Now the chorus, he states, "What have I become?" and follows by saying, everyone eventually goes away. Now, what have I become? A lot of people want to, for example, achieve a title. So, for example, they can have their opinion carry more weight, or appear to anyway. Some people want fame, fortune, power. And then they realize once they obtain it, that it's empty. There's no substance to it. It's missing something. It's not filling that void within. And it's not helping with whatever pains that one is carrying through their life. And I've talked about this, for example, with not having any regrets. to do things in life that you may not regret now, but you have to think about in the future. Will you regret it? Who you become. And we see, for example, that saying where when you're hunting the monster, be careful that you don't become the monster. I mean, there's a lot of different interpretations that can be applied, and this is why when people listen to and watch the video, and everyone in their own mind is building a picture based on themselves. And then he says something very interesting in the chorus. You can have it all, my empire of dirt. What does that mean? He would give away everything, because no matter how great your achievements and accomplishments and materialistic things you've accumulated, it all turns to dirt. It's not everlasting. It's meaningless. And you really have to achieve something in your life, something great. Or when I say something great, I mean what has been socially conditioned into the population to be great. You have to achieve that to realize when you get there, there's nothing there. And achieving things that I set out to do, and then when you reach that point, you look around and go, this is it. Because you've romanticized whatever. Now, not everyone's going to achieve as a loose descriptive ruler of the world, but in our own daily lives, who have we become? Have we become the best positive person, or have we become something else? Perhaps someone cynical. And then the chorus ends off with, I will let you down. Meaning that they will let down those close to them, disappoint them, perhaps through whatever they're going through psychologically or physically, being a burden. Then he goes on to say, wearing the crown of thorns, which is a biblical reference to the Son of the Most High, Jesus. And then right after he says, on his liar's chair he sits. His liar's chair, his whole, everything that he built, identity, everything is a lie. And we see this in the world today, everything being a lie. Then he says that he has these broken thoughts which he cannot repair. You can't change anything. Whatever damage has done or has been done comes to that point where it's there. And then the stains of time, the feelings disappear. So basically pushing away everything, the pain, the sorrow, the regrets, pushing it all aside. And what a lot of people don't realize is you can do that your whole life. Just push everything aside. You do harm to someone else, you can push it aside. Mental gymnastics, things that I've talked about, put it all aside, justify it. But there does come a time in everyone's life where you're not going to be able to do that while you're here. Perhaps even moments before you pass on from this world, you realize, and then you have to face everything. And that in itself is hell. And then he says, you are someone else, and I am still here. Meaning, people mature, they evolve, they change, but he remained where he has been. And from Johnny Cash's perspective, his whole life, he's watched everyone around him grow mentally, physically, perhaps even spiritually. He was stuck. And then he says, if I can do it all over again, 1,000,000 miles away, meaning to go back into time and correct things, correct the mistakes, the bad choices, perhaps the harm caused to others, and that he would keep himself and he would find a way. Now, that I've seen people interpret differently, that no matter what he does, he would be the same person as he is in the song. However, he would keep himself, his true self, not become someone that he's not. He would find a way to do that, to avoid the same mistakes and the same regrets. A lot of people, when they do a reaction or review of the song, they say, well, it's depression. But perhaps it's just merely a message of regret. And anyone who's honest with themselves will see that and start reflecting back on their own life, whether they're young or old. We all can relate to this song, Hurt. And again, there's the two versions. The young version, Perspective, by Trent Reznor of 9 Inch Nails, and the old man version, Perspective, by Johnny Cash. I'm going to leave the link to Johnny Cash's video below. Do have a listen, and if you have the time, look up people's reactions to that, especially first-time reactions, first-time listening to the song reactions, and watch them as they evolve during this 3-minute song. Anyway, I hope I've given you things to think about. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.
I'm giving you a chance to somebody I don't like.
And you didn't like that guy?
No, because he came in with fighting. He brought more than just fighting with him.
All the bad qualities that you learned were bad.
Yeah.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people say to me, oh, when is it going to get easier? When you die.